Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, a Leviathan of the Deep, launched in 2004 and made in 1,000 pieces as a limited series with steel bezel and titanium case. This is the Panerai Luminor Submersible 2500, the PAM00194. GPHG 2004 Sports Watch Prize winner. It is a GPHG laureate as well as a no-holds-barred tool watch. This is a chronometer. It is a diver. It is suitable for saturation diving, and it has been tested to 125% of the number on the dial. The timepiece is big, 47 millimeters in diameter. I measure it 21 millimeters thick. 57.5 lug-to-lug with a 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Old school Panerai, by the way. You can see that we have screws and bars fixing the strap to the case, and that we have screws and bars fixing the buckle to the strap. A very secure system. Inspires a lot more confidence than spring bars. Taking a look, you can see the watch on the wrist is large. I wouldn't write it off though. Although it's large, it's designed to look huge. It's not designed to look proportional. Remember, the original Panerai diving instruments were considered to be so oversized that in the case of the depth gauge and the compass, there was also the anticipation that they might be worn on a bicep. So with an instrument style watch like this or an IWC Big Pilot, the idea is to have the largest visible target. The eye can acquire it quickly and comprehend it rapidly. And so that is the idea here. Yes, it's a party watch. Yes, it's a beach watch. Yes, it's a hiking watch or a hunting watch. No, it's not for polite company. But if your wrist is my size and you're okay with the aesthetic of an oversized instrument, yeah, you can absolutely wear it. But just for reference, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. And no, it's not going to fit under a cuff of any kind. So here we go. Trapezoidal style buckle, all brushed. You could see a little bit of a difference in tone between the steel bezel, which is designed for durability, and the titanium case, which is designed to remove at least some of the mass of this Brobdingnagian thing. So without the tag attached, I weighed it and I put it on my scale, and the mass, which I understand is distinct from weight, but the mass is 173.32 grams. So for a watch on a pin buckle on a strap that's made of titanium primarily, this is a very heavy watch. It doesn't feel like a toy, that's for sure. Device protecting the crown, originally conceived in the late 40s, implemented in the 50s on the 6152 combat watches. It was envisioned as a solution to the problem on the old Rolex-built 3646 watches where you were constantly threading the crown in and out to set and wind those manual wind movements. Well, this saves you the wear and tear on the stem tube assembly and the seals because you compress it and then you decompress it. Now, what I find interesting is that the system has been able to evolve to the point where now we're counting on it delivering 2,500 meters of water resistance, not 30, not 100, 2,500. And because this is an ISO 6425 diver, it would have been necessary to test this physical example and every single example to 125% of the number on the dial. So between 3,100 meters and 3,200 meters, Panerai specifically claiming 3,200 meters tested individually on each one of the 1,000 made. The crystal is incredibly thick too. You can see why the magnifier is on the underside rather than on the outside. This crystal right here is almost 6 millimeters thick, 5.9, which gives you an all new kind of off-axis distortion without plexiglass. You can see we've got raised, relieved, and polished elements on this bezel, but then also satin, knurling on the edge. It is a very chunky, super loud, super mechanical 60-click bezel. If you like a chunky diver that feels and sounds mechanical, well, this is your prayers answered. Another thing I should mention about this crown guard is just, it's how iconic it is. Look at that. You know the make and you know the model. Also important, if you get hit perpendicular, it offers more protection than a shouldered crown guard. And whereas it's easy to leave a screw-down crown, maybe a threading or two out and vulnerable, it's hard to jump into the water with that thing sticking out, so you know that you're not going to drown your watch. You know that it's secure. We have a helium escape valve. If you're a saturation diver and you're doing a hours-long, days-long, or even weeks-long dive, you're going to have that one big decompression. Helium can get in your watch. This will open when internal pressure exceeds external pressure by 2 to 3 bar to let the helium out so it won't blow your crystal or your seals. Now what we've got here is a dial that is original factory tritium. The hands and the bezel pearl are Luminova. And that is not Fotina, that's the real thing. As you can see, it fades quite quickly while the hands remain extremely bright and luminescent. Now, you can only repress hands so many times, which is why hands are often replaced on original tritium dials. If the hands have been gouged and they can't return to secure positions on their pinions, they usually do get replaced. But you can see how quickly the dial base is fading out, even as the hands continue to phosphoresce. So you get some of the elements of both here. You get the true tritium dial and the tritium patina, but then you also get a functional watch that can still be read and used in the dark. And you can still use it as a diver because you can read the bezel pearl in Luminova relative to the minute hand. So we've got running seconds. If this were not a submersible, it would be described as a Luminor Marina because of the presence of the seconds hand. So we've got stop seconds. We've also got a quick set for the date. It is a unidirectional automatic winder with a 4 Hertz beat rate, 21 joules, 5-position adjustment, COSC chronometer certification, and a 42-hour power reserve. It's a quirky thing. It's called a OP3, but it's also called a 7750 P1, which is basically a Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph with the chronograph components removed. So that's what you have in here. It's a very, very tough movement. It's very, very accurate too, being chronometer certified. And this is a full set watch that comes with the chronometer certificate, plus a certificate attesting to its win in the sports watch category at the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, the GPHG, the Oscars of watchmaking. So this is actually a double certificate watch. I could play with that all day. It is a lot of fun. And the watch is still fully functional as a diver. So although it was made in 2004, it can still live up to the billing on its dial. It is still a functional instrument. Although this is what you might call new vintage or neo-vintage, it is not yet so old that you need to worry about babying it. It is mechanically tough and, as you could see externally, built like a tank. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.